Thank y'all so much for hanging out with Tommy and I on Wednesday.
Thank you for
It's
coming.
good to be back here. I see a lot of places on tour, and sometimes they all blur together, but sometimes there's a room like this that kind of sticks in my mind, and it's a good spot. It's really good to be back. Share with me scriptures and help me to know it's easier to sink than to rise. The black and white bullets that fly from my mouth are hand-picked, tired old lines. And my shoes have worn through from this walking around. It's time to stand still and fight. Even the loudest of words will not make a sound compared to the sound of what's right. I saw a man on the news tonight crying for his child in the war. He looked at the camera and asked with his eyes, do we know what we're marching toward? In the halls and the courts, the dead kings cry out. Power is a slow turning wheel. God came around for us and it'll come around for you. It only gives what it can then steal. And the high-headed men that build the engine that runs are cold and dead in the ground. What they built when they lived, when they died, was undone, except for what's holding us down. I saw a man on the news tonight, crying for his child in the war. He looked at the camera and asked with his eyes, do we know what we're marching toward? Do we know what we're marching toward? Now choose to believe in that silver-tongued dream and try to rightly see that the strings you feel at the end of the day are the same strings pulling on me. And if the truth can be beaten and tied to a chair and made to say whatever we want, then the words that we serve are nothing but ours, and our God is not God after all. I saw a man on the news tonight crying for his child in the war. He looked at the camera and asked with his eyes, do we know what we're marching toward? Do we know what we're marching toward? Do we know what we're marching toward? Hey, Daniel, can I get a little bit more of that reverb up here just to make me feel better than I am? You can just leave it on the whole show. I don't care if it's even when I'm talking things. Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling okay. I'm deep into this one, this tour. It started in the Netherlands the first week of January. Did some did some shows over in Europe, and then popped out in Atlanta a couple days ago, which was shocking. But it's really nice to be back on this side of things. I always get kind of emotional when I come back to the States. I know there's a lot of shit happening here, and whatever. There's a lot to be worried about and stuff, but I just really, really love this country a lot. We'll figure something out. Or some people will die that need to die. Well, I made a new record since I was here last, so I'll play some stuff from that. I'll play some old ones too, because I don't want to get tired of these new songs. This is a song called Garden. Nobody knows me, where I go when I'm angry, and how often I'm lonely. I guess they're the same thing. Nobody knows me. And in my mind there's a garden full of beauty and darkness, full of sorrow and sweet things, where my heart can be honest. In my mind there's a garden. And in that garden there's a fruit tree that I eat from a daily. Say that I'm leaving, what does that make me? In my garden there's a fruit tree. Oh, I wanna know the secrets. I wanna peek behind the curtain. I wanna find out for certain if I'm here on purpose. Yeah, I wanna know the secret. As if no one can save me from the things that have made me. As if the mess that I'm making isn't really a blessing. As if no one will save me. In my mind there's a garden, it's full of beauty and darkness, full of sorrow and sweet things, where my heart can be honest. In my mind there's a garden. In my mind there's a garden. In my mind there's a garden. I like how all the toilets in America swirl. There's all kinds of toilets in America, but they all spoil. There's shitty ones and there's nice ones, but they all spoil. And I don't like how there's a lot of toilets in Europe that just kind of cough at you. So that's one thing I like about America. I bought some stock for the first time ever a little while ago. Thank you. I don't know anything about the stock market really, and so I Googled, how do you make money with stock? There's a lot that I didn't read there, but what I did read, it said to make sure you diversify your investment. And so I tried to do that, but I only had like $90 to put it toward my portfolio. And so I spread it around as best I could. At first it was kind of fun watching it move. I'd check the app. On the days that it ticked up, I'd go buy cheeseburgers. Like, hell yeah, I'm making money with the stock market. But more often than not, it would tick down. And I didn't like those days because it felt like there was a cloud that kind of hung over me and stayed there. And I would talk to myself out loud on those days. I'd be like, oh, man, it's just $90. It's okay. I know there's like a colored graph and shit showing you how bad you suck, but it's just $90. But I couldn't really shake it. So one night at the peak of this anxiety about my investments, I ate a bunch of mushrooms. There's a really beautiful park by my house, and in the middle of the park there's like a dog zone there that turns into this big mud pit when it rains. I went there like 3 in the morning and just felt this urge to get down in the mud. And I really went for it. I just was rolling around in there and squeezing all the mud and stuff. And it hit me like a bolt of lightning when I was down in the mud that I should sell my stock immediately. Some people aren't cut out for that. So I did. I went home and got cleaned up and sold everything for a terrible loss. And slept really well. I've been sleeping good since then. It was a good kind of gentle money lesson for me. I've been thinking a lot about it since then. Money has this hold over us that it doesn't deserve to have. And I know that money is real, and the consequences of money are very real in the world that we've built here, but give it a lot more than it deserves. So I don't know if you're feeling a little bit of anxiety about your own investments. Maybe give them the mud thing a try. This is a song called Paper Crown that I wrote after that. Wake up to the rain in the morning. Wake up from your gold dust dream. Stone heavy in your mind. Everything moves in the wind now. Any day everyone is gonna find out you can't hold the line. It's okay. Everybody Everybody feels the same way. Everybody's too afraid to say what they haven't found. And all the answers of the modern age, they are skipping to the last page. Read the story and use the rings. It's just a paper crown. It's just a paper crown. Get up and go to work in the darkness. Come home and try to hold on to something. It's a wheel that goes around, around. Strike a pose and smile for the people. Take a picture, make it look so simple. There's a fighter underground. Oh, it's okay. Everybody feels the same way. Everybody's too afraid to say what they haven't found. And all the answers of the modern age, they're skipping to the last page. Read the story and use the rings. It's just a paper crown. The sun come kissing through my window. I'm at the edges of my dream. There's a golden moment that I can never keep it. It's a quiet kind of sin. It is moving without moving. I am not worried about where I'm going. And it's okay. Everybody feels the same way. Everybody's too afraid to say what they haven't found. And all the answers of the modern age, they're skipping to the last page. Read the story and use the rings. It's just a paper crown. It's just a paper crown. I think Americans listen to shows the best. They don't always listen well, but when they do, they listen the best. Like in the Netherlands and some of the more places with tighter assholes in the world, where they have too much of their shit together, Are there any Dutch people here this evening? I don't mean any offense by it, it's just they are that way. Sometimes playing shows over there feels like they all came there to fulfill some extra credit assignment they had to do. It's just they're very there. It's just nice, I can feel you in the room. It's nice. Okay, I'll talk less poorly about the Dutch. You know those moments in life where time stretches out, where it just stops entirely, and you realize you've been living and breathing, and your heart's been beating for 6 hours, and you've forgotten everything about time. I like those moments a lot. A little while ago, a friend of mine moved into a new house that he was renting, And he found a bunch of mystery drugs in the freezer of the house that the previous tenant had left. Some of them we were able to identify. We were camping. This like three-day camping trip turned into like 2 weeks in our minds. And it felt really nice to come home from that trip. Like for a couple weeks afterwards, I was really in love with like things that had limits. I liked the days ended, you know. I started like setting my alarm on my phone for no reason. I think there's something to that. I think there's something like in those moments that I was talking about, where time just kind of, you forget about it. Like if you were someone who could live forever, those moments would be wasted on you. Something about the fact that we all check out of here eventually that makes it real sweet. This is home. About that a little bit. It's called Lost Dogs. Last night I was a lost dog, running wild on the road, looking back over my shoulder for the headlights glow. Blood in my mouth, what I killed I don't know. There was an engine in my chest, beating feet upon the road. And the light just the same. And I cried for the edges when I forgot my own name. You see me now, Daddy, I'm a vapor of a ghost. I'm spinning in the blackness where the time it doesn't go. The end is the beginning of a story I don't know. I'm spinning in the blackness where the time it does not go. I met an angel, a boring man by a tree. His fire had been stolen by eternity. I'll be dead in a moment, just a breath and I'll be gone. Love is everything, can't be held for too long. I'll be dead in a moment, yeah, just a breath and I'll be gone. Love is everything, can't be held for too long. I'll be dead in a moment, yeah, just a breath and I'll be gone. Love is everything, can't be held for too long. Hey, how about another hand for Tommy Alexander? I love listening to him play. He has this brilliant record out right now that I've logged a lot of miles on in the car. It's just a fantastic driving record. He has this way of delivering these lines and songs that are just these little nuggets that I could chew on for miles and miles. Tommy, do you have CDs here or just vinyl?
Just vinyl of that record you like.
It's hard to play vinyl in the car. Then you can find it on Spotify and you can buy a vinyl to support them. It's a great one. There's a song called Walking that's it's just about walking around. The violent sounds of busy streets, people living at all cost, die away eventually if you stay up late enough. Stoplights play for no one, the dogs are gone to dream. When I go out walking, the rain has come and gone again. The air is close and soft. My mind has spun a dreamer's web. I hear a far-off song. Shadows have kind faces. They are waltzing with the trees. When I go out walking, you sang alone in a nowhere town. We played for tips and beer. I watched you close your eyes and go somewhere far away from there. Take me with you, dreamer. I can hear you sing when I go out walking. My mom laughs like something breaks. It's not often, but it's real. And my dad gave it all away because he knows the deal, that he'll be gone with nothing, the same way that he came. So I go out walking. Yeah, we'll be gone with nothing, the same way that we came. So I go out walking. Danny's father was a drinker. He couldn't quit to save his life, that of his son, or his daughter, or his beautiful wife. He left one night after he murdered his best friend with a knife. He snuck away into the dark and didn't stop to say goodbye. He rode 12 days to the border where the caliber of a man is measured by the caliber of pistol in his hand. He lasted a week before the others saw he was a man from whom to take. And on a Saturday night, he was shot after a card game. In a drunken, bloody stupor, he climbed on his horse and headed north. He went crying through the night, trying to get back home. And at dawn he was not dead, but he was dying of thirst. And his horse found a well in the middle of the desert. He slumped off to take a drink, slipped and cracked his head on the edge. Danny's father fell and sank into the darkness. And at that very hour, Danny woke to the screams of his sister and his mother and a band of Apaches. Danny's mother grabbed the shotgun and opened the front door, found a hatchet in her chest before she could do anything more. And his sister was pulled from the house and then went silent. Danny knew there was nothing left to do but make a run for it. He rode hard without stopping, 3 days and nights away from hell. He passed out on his horse, and it led him to a well. And he woke baking in the sun, and could not believe his eyes. He drew up bucket after bucket, and drank water through the night. Drew a bucket after bucket and drank water through the night. His belly full, the sun now hot, he began to feel the rot work its way through his veins and into the depths of his brain. And his horse began to stammer and kick with a craze. Danny knew then that the water in the well was unsafe. Yeah, Danny knew then that the water in the well was unsafe. As he lay dying with his horse, Danny came to understand it was the death of his father, where his own death began. And no man can escape the sins his father makes. He is bound in blood what he does and all that he takes. And no man can escape the sins his father father lives. He is bound in blood to what he does and all that he takes. Okay, enough of these bubblegum songs. We'll start getting into the darkness now. I have a good buddy who's a songwriter in Ireland. His name is Mick Flannery. A couple of years back, he sent me this batch of songs that he'd been working on that were all based on famous chess matches in history. Mick's really into chess every time he comes to the States. When he's over in New York City, he heads to Central Park and he plays everybody he can find in chess. He had this idea for writing these songs where he assigned guitar chords to the pieces used in the matches. So like every time a knight was moved, he had to play a C chord or something like that. Every time a pawn was moved or some other chord. So the songs don't make any fucking sense. But Mick is convinced that he's tapped into this like mathematical chess music hyper genius thing. They do make sense. They're actually really beautiful, like really haunting songs. And he wrote lyrics over the top that kind of illuminate what was happening historically at the time that these games were played. And it was like, for example, in the early 1900s, Einstein played Oppenheimer in a game of chess. And Mick wrote this song about the dawn of the atomic age. I don't know anything about chess. I certainly don't know anything about chess history. If I didn't know what to do with these songs, I could tell that he was really proud of them. And I wanted to like my first response was like, oh, I should do some research so I can appear to be as intellectual as this. And then I thought, well, what would the really shitty, like lowbrow version of this be? And years ago, Mick's always hounded me to play him in chess on the phone. And years ago, I suggested that we start with checkers. He's given me endless amounts of shit for it. He said checkers is a low-minded game. Chess. So I wrote Mick this song called Checkers. It just has this chord here and this one here. Just two chords, but it's checkers. I'm not sure what my inspiration was for the content of the song, except that I think I was imagining, like I was channeling maybe what Mick thinks of people that enjoy the game of checkers. Checkers, double-decker buses, corn dogs and titties. Yes or no, right or wrong, full of shit or empty. Go to work and go back home and jack off to the TV. Blaze one down and pass out in the pizza and ranch dressing. And the checkers playing gutter bitch. I'm a checkers playing gutter bitch. Empathetic, social justice, civil rights, and mindfulness are all the words that people use to reconcile their bullshit views and lay them down to sleep at night while I get drunk and I get high and think about the neighbor's wife and what I'd like to do. I'm a checkers playing gutter bitch. I'm a checkers playing gutter bitch. Everything that's anything Everything is better if it's simpler. Yeah, and all the best ideas, they fit on hats and bumper stickers. Tell me that I have to dig if I wanna find the answers. Chess is just a shovel, checkers is an excavator. I'm a checkers playing gutter, bitch. I'm a checkers playing gutter, bitch. Tell me that I have to dig if I wanna find the answers. Chess is just a shovel, checkers is an excavator. I'm a checkers playing gutter, bitch. We're all checkers playing gutter, bitches. Sometimes it's okay, not every day, but sometimes it's okay. Even your mom, even your dad, even your grandma, yeah, even your granddad. It's okay, not every day, sometimes it's okay. I'm glad that you liked that one. It's proved to be a bit of a problematic song. In the wrong rooms, it doesn't go well. My mom heard that song once and she doesn't like it at all. And she told me after the show, like, you should be careful with songs like that because you don't want to get known for that one. I was like, okay, Mom, yeah, thanks. And then a couple weeks later, I was in Minneapolis. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. There was a couple that standing in the front of the show, and they had made these T-shirts. There was like a cartoon version of me on the shirt, and I had a big joint in my mouth. And I was pouring a bottle of ranch dressing onto a pepperoni pizza. And it said, "Checkers playing gutter, bitch."
Can we buy them at the front?
But when you cannot. Everything that my mom warned me about came back to me in my mind. I tell you what, the Dutch did not appreciate the Checkers song. I get this little thing in me when that song doesn't go well and I want to dig in harder. So I ended up playing it every night in Europe. And it just never went well. I played this love song for you. I forgot about it totally. One of my favorite things on tour is when I drive by a tree farm, like a tree farm, I guess. You know, when you're driving and there's like the strobe light staccato effect of the rows of trees forever in the perfect line. I love it. I've turned around to do it again before. You know, there's a song called Grove of Trees. I'm bleeding at the knuckles, but I want more. My head is pounding, but I want more. I wanna play till I am younger still. I wanna sing till the world stands still. It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. And I saw you at the park with your hair. You didn't know that I was there. And I dreamed about you and me getting married and having kids and having kids. It's a simple thing, but it's all that there is. It's a simple thing, but it's all that there is. And I know that I'm difficult to see, but I've got worlds buried down inside of me. But I say with love in 50 years we'll have all that we need. I'm a grower of trees. I'm a grower of trees. Can you wait for me? Can you wait for me? Can you wait for me? When I was a young kid, I used to be obsessed with infinity. Went through this phase. I couldn't get it out of my head. I grew up in the church, so I was attached to heaven. I just remember asking my dad and mom all the time, like, so just, like, you know, like after we die here, it just goes on forever and ever and ever. This is a very vulnerable thing I'm about to reveal to you. You seem nice enough. I think I'm pretty stable psychologically. But sometimes I do strange things. And there was a couple of year period of my life when I was a kid. Maybe I was like 9 or 10 years old. And every night I used to go to bed with a pocket knife open and resting on my stomach, put the blade down. Yeah, I know, that's really weird. And there was never a thought of like I might stab my stomach. I just kind of liked the tension. You know, certainly there's somebody here that used to do the same thing. And I really didn't think, I didn't attach any bad feelings to it at all. Like I really loved doing it, and I remember like getting excited to go to bed so I could lay there and have my thoughts about infinity with my knife on my stomach. But one night my mom walked in, and I was, you know, laying there on the bed with this knife, and she flipped the fuck out. I don't blame her. But I remember trying to explain to her why I was doing it. And then realizing as I was explaining to her that there was no, like I didn't know why. So it's like my words were moving faster than my mind, but it wasn't making any sense. I don't know why I just told you that, except that it was around that period of time where I was obsessed with infinity. But I survived that moment. As I got older, I realized that there's like the most tangible expression of infinity that I can think of is the kind that's inside of us, like if you think about yourself right now, everything that you know about yourself and everything that you could know about yourself before you die. It's like an endless thing that you can chase. You can chase it and chase it and chase it. And you'll never run out of doors to look behind and corners and shit. And that to me feels like an infinity that gets overlooked often. I think being on tour all the time and crashing into people and places, I forget, like I take people for granted all the time. And we all carry around this vastness inside of us. I hope that we can remember all that shit as next year and the year after that unfolds in this country, whatever happens. We all share this weird mystery together and no one knows what's going on. Anyway, this is a song called There's a Treasure that's kind of about all that shit. The city will still be moving in the morning. A million lives all breathing like a tide. Each one a story beyond our comprehension. Each trying to make a life and feel alive. And the trees will bloom down along the river, and the kids will raise the fountains in the light. And someone will cry and pray that it gets better. And someone will stop and try to change a life. And the sun will rise like it always does on the day that I die. And the world will spin, the sun will go on burning. Never even know I was alive. There's a treasure that we all know, but we can't have it. It's a place beyond the measure of our minds. It is where we go when we forget we're living. It is where we go when we forget we die. And all the tools we use to feel important, they are useless as a sailboat in the sky. Where old bones and heartaches are forgotten, It's a place we don't have words to describe. And the sun will rise like it always does on the day that I die. And the world will spin, the sun will go on. Never even know I was gone. Yeah, the world will spin, the sun will go on. Never even know I was gone. I want to try playing you a real old song. I left New Orleans in a rainstorm, heading west. I had a song hidden in the sole of my shoes, and she took the rest. My eyes, my money, my peace of mind, she took all the best. But I gave away so much, I don't know what's mine, I must confess. And wave goodbye to the piano man on the corner, and smoke my last one down with Amy from the north. Sleep on the beach among the cigarettes and glass, making my way to Galveston, making my way to Galveston, making my way to Galveston. Wandering heart just holds you down, and I'm tired of town after town. The face of a girl I once loved, she keeps me up. On my way to Galveston, Galveston. On my way to Galveston, and wave goodbye to the piano man on the corner, and smoke my last one down with Amy from the north, and sleep on the beach among the cigarettes and glass, making my way to Galveston, making my way to Galveston, making my way to Galveston. Play a couple more old ones here. I went to school to be a high school teacher. I did that for about 6 years. I loved it a lot more than I thought I would. I think about it all the time, teaching. Are there any teachers here tonight? A few, cool. I just really loved hanging out with high schoolers and talking about ideas and maybe less cynical. I often think that if music wasn't a thing in my life, I would just teach until I died happily. Sometimes while I was teaching, I had this reoccurring fantasy daydream thing that I would die while teaching. Like I'd be writing some like Steinbeck quote on the board or something, and I'd just tip over and the marker would follow me down to the ground. And that'd be it. Not prematurely, like die when it was my time, you know, but I just thought it was a very cool thing to leave my students with. The first teaching job I ever had was up in Alaska. I got out of school in Oregon and there were no jobs for me there at the time. A friend of a friend knew this job in Alaska. And I was super broke, and they were in a big hurry because they had a teacher quit halfway through the year. And I said yes before I knew anything about the job. A couple weeks later, I flew up to Anchorage and met the principal of the school I'd be teaching at. He said, okay, we got to go to Costco. We got to buy all the food that you need for the year. And we're going to put it on a plane and send you out to where you'll be teaching. And that was the first time that I had found out that I wouldn't be teaching where there were roads and things. I'm glad that he was there with me at Costco. I just feel like I wouldn't have been very well prepared in that moment to make good decisions for a whole year. Could have easily been like a year of Sour Patch Kids and Doritos. There was this little village school about 350 miles from Anchorage or anything else. There was a veteran teacher that had been there for like 30-something years. And it was just me and her and this sometimes other guy. And somehow she had a car there in this village. There was only like maybe a half-mile stretch of road. It just dead-ended at both ends. So there was really nowhere to go, especially in the winter. But in the evenings and on the weekends, we used to ride up and down this road. We'd just go and turn around and go. Just kind of feel urban, you know. One day I was in the car with her. I was in the back seat, and there was this brilliant guy in the village that was like one of these people that could fix anything with anything else. And they got into this big debate about God. And she was a very religious person, and he was very not religious. I was just quiet in the back seat, wondering what I'd done with my life. that night I got back to my spot there in this cabin they put me in, I started writing this song. It's called The Middle. I take my chances on the frozen lakes. I don't go to church on Sundays. I traded my water for whiskey, but I know my God and He knows me. And don't go running your mouth at me about the light and the dark and nothing in between. I see a right and a wrong and a line in the middle. Don't forget about the middle. Don't forget about the middle. Don't forget about the middle. I fell in love in a bar downtown. She was a one-night stand that stuck around, and I'm the only man she ever dances for now. We're both missing some pieces, we make it work somehow. And don't go pointing your finger at me. You don't know where I've been or what I've seen. And closing your eyes is not the answer to the riddle. I found it in the middle. Yeah, I found it in the middle. I found it in the middle. Yeah, don't go pointing your finger at me. You don't know where I've been or what I've seen. And closing your eyes is not the answer to the riddle. I found it in the middle. Yeah, I found it in the middle. Don't forget about the middle. I think you'll like it in the middle. Why don't you try it in the middle? There's holes in all the sidewalks where the wind it brings the rain in, and the gold crowns have been found out to be brass that has been painted. There's holes in all our Bibles where we make secret compartments to hide the broken treasures we smuggled out of the garden. like insecure children, poorly dressed and always panicking in the bodies of men and women. And we stumble on like drunkards toward a cliff just because none of us cares about the end when we're trying to find love. We get moving in the morning, we suffer on until the evening, where we finally drink the whiskey that soothes our disbelieving, while others find a quiet place and build a fence around it, spend their time on the money they make, and find ways to talk about it. Just like there's always been, and there's a quiet man in the valley standing taller than him, and there's a child with a secret that she doesn't know she holds, and the fact that I can see it means that I'm growing old. Some of us get lucky, find an anchor in the storm. Some of us never learn to see beyond the place we were born. And time is a mystic with a briefcase in his hand. You can pay to look inside it, but you can't afford to understand. And maybe heaven is a place that doesn't have an address, and maybe that's okay, just like joy or sadness. You can meet God in a cigarette, just the same as in a sermon, and the devil's always listening to those who are deserving. You guys are a pretty fantastic crowd. It's a big treat to play for you. Thank you for coming out. A couple days ago, my dad, he called me just to check in with me. I could tell by the tone of his voice that he was a little bit worried about me. He said, so how's the tour going? I said, it's been really good, really. It's been a great one. There was like a pause. He said, and there's like some people coming out to the shows and stuff. I was like, yeah, Dad, that's what, typically what makes it a good one. And there was another pause. He's like, and there's like a little bit of money in it for you. But yeah, enough to keep going. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. My folks, they've always been really supportive of this thing I do, but I also don't think that they believe that it actually happens. Maybe I think I'm just out like selling drugs instead of putting pocket knives on my belly. My dad's name is Bruce Martin. My mom's name is Heather Martin. I bet that if you were inspired to do so, you can find them on Facebook. We'll maybe do a little snooping tonight after the show and see if you can find them and just say it was going okay in Asheville. I don't know if you should do that actually. I'm not freaking out. I get into these big talks with my dad though. It seems like at every tour there's one or two. My dad's a big talker, and he's a big philosophizer. You get him going on some ideas and he likes to just run with it. Something I love about him a whole lot. We've been having these big talks about America lately and trying to figure out what the fuck's happening. And he's always really curious. You know, I live in Portland, my folks live in Eugene. And they're always really curious, like what I encounter out in different corners of the country and the world. And it's just overwhelming goodness that I encounter in people everywhere I go. It doesn't matter their politics or where they live, but really. There's something happening in the news and the voices that kind of rise to the top because they scream the loudest. There seems to be a bunch of crazy people up there. Sometimes, like in between tours, I go home and I feel like my civic duty now is to like get caught up on the news and figure out what's going on, and then I get really depressed. And then I go out on tour again and I crash into people and that depression goes away. I don't know what to make of that, but it is nice to be here with you. This is a I guess kind of a love song to America. It's also a big fuck you to Washington, D.C. All the D.C. news is a goddamn shame. It's a circus of sellouts who've sold out their names. If you got the money, they'll play the game. However you want, as long as you pay. Tell the hard-working people the other is to blame. Get the votes from the backbone and keep them in a cage. And the crowds in the street, they don't know they've been bought. How the devil was made so we wouldn't blame God. Our religion is money, whether you have it or not. Our God that we trust is the God that we got. I love you, my brother, and it's okay with me. If what you believe is not what I believe, I love you, my brother, and can we agree? This thing is broken for you and for me. I love you, my brother, oh, and can't we agree? This thing is broken for you and for me. Oh, yeah. This song is a bit of a story. It's like actually, when I was writing that, I was imagining like a correspondence between two people, maybe in letters or emails or something. But I was imagining somebody who maybe grew up in a very narrow place in life, and before they were old enough to really contend with the ideas that were put in front of them. They said and did some pretty ugly things because of the culture they were brought up in. And then they got older and found like a better way of being in the world. I think that's an important story to tell. We seem to be pretty obsessed in this moment with people's failure, and we like to tweet about it when someone famous fucks up in a big way or something. But I wish we were excited to tell stories about people that were like, hey, I used to be an asshole in this way, and now I'm not. So that would be great. I can still see that red station wagon on the street by your house. We'd walk to rent movies and wander our way across town, out away from your dad. You were always so easily found. Oh, you let your hands dance and you let yourself laugh out loud. Hey, I remember. Oh, and that night on the roof of the school, when we were talking at stars, and you said that you might be afraid of who you really are, and your hand touched my hand and retreated in that desperate dark. Oh, I called you a faggot and laughed and punched you in the arm. I don't believe it. I can't believe it now. I can't believe how I let you down. The church was a boot on your neck since the day you were born. They didn't like the way that you talk, or how you move in the world. How you lie like a leaf on the water, all gentle and kind. All the world wants a man who's hard, not hard to define. And you feel like a child that the God of all forgot to name. Like he gave you a heart, but he did not give you a place. Did he breathe into you just to tell you that you are to blame? Did he breathe into you just to tell you that you are to blame? I don't believe it. I don't believe it now. I I don't believe how I let you down. Did he breathe into you just to tell you that you are to blame? Did he breathe into you just to tell you that you are to blame? I don't believe it. I don't believe it now. I don't believe it. I don't believe it now. I don't believe it. I don't believe it now. Well, I got two more for you tonight.
Say 3 or 4.
And we'll see. I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for merch on this tour. I got a few t-shirts left. I think I have each size, but maybe just one or a few. Someone last night at the show told me at the table after the show that they really didn't like the t-shirt. It stuck with me. I've been thinking about it all day. Like, I don't really mind if you didn't like the t-shirt, but why would you say that to me at the moment? You know, I just bared my soul for an hour and then you tell me you don't like my fucking t-shirt. I like the t-shirt. Yeah. It's a sketch that I made a lot of years ago when I was teaching, actually. I had a really frustrating day teaching, and in between classes I just sketched my feelings. And what came out was this like 96-year-old toddler with dead eyes. So it's not for everybody. A t-shirt, but kind of like it's kind of like I think it has a really pensive look. Some people think he has dead eyes. I think they're really pensive eyes. Maybe you know, like when you go to the beach and you like see like a 6-year-old kid just like standing, staring out at the expanse. You know? You're like, damn, that's a deep kid. And then they go up and pull like a giant booger out of their nose and eat it. And that dream just shatters in front of you. All that you projected onto this child. The t-shirt's like right before the booger. That's how I think. This is there's a song about that moment in life when you realize that your parents or whoever raised you are not perfect. And it's a heavy moment, I think, for everybody. You're like, holy shit, they're just a human? Goddamn. And it's a nice thing to live in that bubble before that, where you're like, well, at least somebody has their shit together in this world. I grew up in a brick house on 15th behind the bakery, where my dad worked his bones into knots. My mom was a watcher, my mom was a listener, my mom was afraid to leave the house. used to walk the city, winter in Cincinnati, make you cry razors from the cold. I hear mom and dad fighting, the busted oven, and then they're laughing, and she's chasing him down the hallway with a towel. And I didn't know, they didn't know what they were doing. Oh, and I didn't know, they didn't know what they were doing. Oh. I woke to the sound of sadness and tiptoed out my bedroom. Found Dad crying at the window by the phone. In the morning I had not forgotten, and the whole house felt different. I hugged my dad and left for school older and old. Mom said his sister was a drinker, and they tried everything to help her, but sometimes the story's already been told. And I laid in bed wondering what was already written, and who gets to decide where I go. I laid in bed wondering what was already written, and who gets to decide where I go. And I didn't know, that they didn't know what they would do. Oh, and I didn't know, they didn't know what they would do. Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Is there any songs on this special? Sorry, I can't think of their voice.
Joseph Stalin. Sculpture.
You gotta be here all day, Jimmy.
Free bird.
Who's the asshole was in? God damn, that thing hangs on like a fucking dingleberry. Whoever that is, make him pay double.
It's gone so well, man.
Wow, I'd love to play a couple of those things. just like his daddy. 10-hour days of rolling tar as a double wide down an old dirt road outside the city, on the edge of a muddy creek in the county line. Oh, Becky, keep an eye on the water line. The car won't start and the money never comes in on time. Oh, Becky, keep an eye on the water line. I feel it moving. They got a baby on the way, but his wife still feels empty. Says it's hard to feel pretty when they're always counting dimes. He sits up nights in the kitchen in the dark when it's raining, and he can't sleep for the sound pounding in his mind. Oh, baby, keep an eye on the water line. The car won't start and the money never comes in on time. Oh, baby, keep an eye on the water line. I feel it moving. I'm not a bad man, I'm a poor man. I'm not a bad man, I'm a poor man. I'm not a bad man, I'm a poor man. And I'm sinking. I'm not a bad man, no, I'm a poor man. I'm not a bad man, I'm a poor man. I'm not a bad man, I'm a poor man. And I'm sinking. This is a song called Sad Blue Eyes. I don't want to think of this song anymore. To me, this has always been a very sad song. A couple things happened really recently that kind of messed with my head a little bit about it. First, there's a woman, is she here tonight? This woman who emailed about tattooing her body with the song. Okay, good. Not sure exactly where she lives, but this woman emailed and she said that she wanted to get the lyrics of this song tattooed on her. I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's amazing. And then she said at the end of this email that it's her and her husband's favorite love song. And I was like, okay. Not sure you've listened to the song that you're about to tattoo on your body. Because it's definitely about a song. It's like a song about somebody who thinks they found love, but it's not love. It's like codependence. And so I emailed her back nicely, and I was like, oh, I'm so flattered that you want to get this tattooed on you. I just want to make really sure that you know what you're getting. So here's where I was coming from in writing the song, and I explained it and stuff. And she emailed back and she's like, yep. lyrics wasn't all, yeah, I don't know. And then she said it would be really cool if you could write the lyrics out by hand and send them to me so that I could get that version tattooed. I said, I can't do that. I don't believe in your mission. And that's where we left it. I don't really know what's happened with her, but a couple weeks ago I was in the UK, and there's this. I was having a cigarette outside the show before I started, and there's this guy like pacing the alley, and he was looking at me, and I thought he was like waiting on a drug deal or something. And he finally came up to me, and I was like ready to tell him, "I'm not your man." Wish I was, but I'm not. And he said, "Hey, did you get my email?" No, I didn't get your email. He's like, oh, okay, that's okay. He's like, well, I wanted to propose to my girlfriend tonight at your show. And I was hoping you would sing Sad Blue Eyes while I did. I was like, man, what is happening? So I had a whole similar conversation with this guy about like walking him through why I wrote the song and like, oh, this is not a song you should propose to anybody. You know, I said my thing, and then he was like, yeah. Same response as the woman. He was like, and he said like, well, we all hear things in different ways, you know. And I said, well, you know, I don't know how that works in the flow of a show. Like, are we playing a song? Where will you guys be? And how are you going to get your girl up in front of that? How about you just, if you want to propose to her, you should propose to her, and that would be cool. He's like, yeah, I get it, okay, yeah, we don't have to do it at the show. And then he told her at the show that he was gonna propose to her to this song. Like, he's like when I was gonna play Sad Blue Eyes, he was like, he told his girl that he was gonna propose in this moment. It's not now, because, I don't know. It was so strange. I'll just play the fucking song. He grew up in a house in the valley with a daddy who was one long cigarette. And his mama walked out on a Friday night with a man that she just met. He liked walking the blacktop streets in the rain, in the dark, when the city was dead. The machine gone to sleep, he could hear himself think, and he liked what he saw on his head. Her sad blue eyes, her sad blue eyes. He found work at the yard, picking apart cars out on Springfield and Lariat. Likes a girl with scars on her arms that prove she ain't seen what she wants to yet. With her sad blue eyes. Don't you see it, boy? Everything's a circle in this town. And the best you give can't fix what cannot be found. Behind her sad blue eyes, behind her sad blue eyes, behind her sad blue eyes. Oh, yeah. He put his head to the stone, working all day long, saving up those dollars and dimes. He's got his eye on the ring at the Oakwood Mall, and he likes how the diamond shines. There's a quarter-acre lot with a trailer on the spot, if he can work a deal out on time. And they park across the street where they dream and they drink, and he says, I'm gonna make you mine, and you're sad blue eyes. Don't you see it, boy? Everything's a circle in this town. whispers to him I know can make it alright. But the damage moves in like a ghost from within, and a storm grows behind her sad blue eyes. When they're naked at night, she whispers to him I know can make it alright. But the damage moves in like a ghost from within, and a storm grows behind her sad blue eyes. Her sad blue eyes. This has been a really special night. Thank you for coming out. And big thanks again to Tommy for kicking things off. Trust me, even if you don't buy the vinyl tonight, find his music on Spotify and listen to this new record while you're driving on one of these sunny days. It'll change your bones. Extra great sound tonight, Danny. Well, I'll leave you with this one, and Tommy and I will be hanging out front there if you want to come say hi. Sometimes I feel like sometimes I can see in people's eyes out by the merch that they want to share something, but they're like afraid that it's too weird or something. And sometimes I see them just like slink away and they don't do it. You know, some asshole that yelled out "free bird" is like, "Can I buy an album?" But I want to go find the person that wants to say the weird thing. So I'm just saying, if you want to say a weird thing, I love collecting weird things on the road. I also love getting letters. If you go to my website and scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's like a P.O. box address. It's just for getting weird shit. I love coming back from a tour and seeing what's in there. And I think people find like a special amount of freedom in writing to a stranger. They write some strange things. A little while ago, I got a letter from a psychiatrist in Baltimore. Well, that's what he said he is, at least. But he wrote it from the perspective of his dead self. So the letter began like, "I died last Wednesday." I just share that so you know what I'm looking for. This is a song about letters, so I'll leave you with this one. It's a song called "Sculptor." Well, thank you for listening so much. It's been a big treat to play for you. I'll get back to you Out across the dying engine of the city's mocking heaven, plans to fill the decades, plans to keep death hidden. Swing away until the sun goes, trade your soul for a photo, and stories that we all know are empty in the end. But you wrote a letter like a sculpture, and I cried and let the day go. I miss your breath on my shoulder, I miss your breath on my shoulder. And driving north through sun is on the sea. I know exactly who I am. It's not who I wanna be. The space between goes on forever, a blessing and a curse, a dreamer and a liar, the devil in the church. But you wrote a letter like a sculpture, and I cried and let the day go. I miss your breath on my shoulder, I miss your breath on my shoulder. Silver tongue, the blood in my veins, a salesman with a dark flame. Nothing matters in the end, child. You're only here for a short while. Your sadness is a blanket, a comfort in the chain. I wear her when I am hopeless and too afraid to change. But you wrote a letter like a sculpture, and I cried and let the day go. I miss your breath on my shoulder, I miss your breath on my shoulder, yeah. You wrote a letter like a sculpture, and I cried and let the day go. I miss your breath on my shoulder, 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 I miss your breath on my shoulder.